Did you know that the average reader spends just 8 seconds deciding whether they'll keep reading your book? That's right, only 8 seconds. In that short time, the words you choose can either pull them in or push them away. Shocking, right? But it gets even crazier. Research shows that 30% of readers will stop reading if the writing feels weak or repetitive. And what's one of the biggest reasons for this? Weak words. It's easy to overlook the little words you use in your story, but they can make or break your writing. Words like very, just, and thing seem harmless, but they're actually sabotaging your storytelling. By cutting them out, you can instantly make your writing stronger, sharper, and way more exciting. In this article, we're diving into the 6 weak words that are holding your novel back. We'll look at why these words creep into your writing, how they weaken your message, and, most importantly, how to fix it. Ready to make your writing stand out? Let's get started. Chapter 1: The Curse of Very. Why Overuse Destroys Impact. We all know that one word that sneaks its way into almost every sentence: very. It seems harmless enough, but when overused, it weakens your writing. Think about it. How many times have you written very tired or very happy? These are common phrases, but they lack the punch that could truly bring your characters to life. Instead of telling your reader someone is very tired, try exhausted or drained. It's more vivid, and it instantly paints a clearer picture. Research shows that stronger verbs and adjectives pack more emotional punch. In fact, in a study by the University of California, Berkeley, researchers found that specific language boosts reader engagement by 20%. That means cutting very and replacing it with more descriptive words can make your writing more engaging. Here's the trick: find your very words and upgrade them. Instead of very big, use huge or enormous. Instead of very fast, try swift or blazing. This doesn't just make your writing more colorful, it also makes it more compelling. Eliminating very encourages you to think harder about your characters and scenes. This challenge forces you to choose words that are specific and evocative. When you do this, your writing becomes more immersive, which keeps readers hooked. So, when you find yourself about to use very, stop and ask, what's a more vivid word? This simple switch can make a world of difference in your writing's impact. Chapter 2: The Filler Word Frenzy. Saying goodbye to just. Let's talk about another sneaky word that weakens your sentences: just. It's one of those words that creep into your writing without you even noticing. You might say, I'm just trying to help, or it's just too late. These phrases sound weak because just minimizes what you're trying to express. When you remove just, your sentences get stronger and more confident. For example, instead of saying, I'm just trying to survive, try, I'm fighting to survive. Notice the difference. The second option is more intense and direct. It brings urgency and power. Data from the Writing Institute at Harvard University suggests that eliminating filler words like just can improve clarity and make your writing more compelling. According to their research, cutting unnecessary words leads to a 30% increase in reader retention. In other words, when you leave out words like just, readers are more likely to stay engaged with your story. There's a psychological reason for this too. Just conveys hesitation, almost like you're apologizing for what you're saying. But when you say something plainly, it feels more confident and direct. Readers are naturally drawn to strong, straightforward writing. The key here is to watch for just in your writing. It often appears in places where it doesn't add anything important. Remove it and see how much more powerful your message becomes. Before we dive into Chapter 3, make sure to subscribe for more storytelling tips that can transform your writing. Chapter 3: The Unseen Enemy. How really dilutes emotion. Another word that dilutes the emotional impact of your story is really. It's like very and just in that it makes your writing feel weaker than it actually is. Let's say you write really angry. Does it sound as powerful as furious or enraged? Probably not. Really is one of those words that waters down strong emotions. It's as if you're adding a buffer between the intensity of what your character is feeling and what the reader is supposed to experience. Instead of really happy, try ecstatic or overjoyed. Not only does this make the emotion clearer, but it also adds depth. Did you know that readers rate books higher when emotions are portrayed vividly? A 2019 study published in the Journal of Writing Research showed that readers prefer emotional descriptions that don't rely on weak modifiers. They found that vivid emotional expressions increased a book's rating by 15% on average. So, removing "really" can actually help you connect with your audience better. Take this example: she was really sad. What if you wrote, her heart broke? It's more direct, more visceral, and more likely to make your reader feel something. Words like "really" hold us back from digging into the deep emotions our characters experience. Think of it this way: "really" is like adding a filter to your character's emotions. When you cut it out, you strip away the barrier between your reader and your character's soul. So, when you write about emotions, reach for stronger words. Let your characters feel fully and let your readers experience it too. Chapter 4: Cutting out "thing" and "stuff." Creating specificity. Let's talk about two of the most common, yet weak, words in writing: "thing" and "stuff." These words are often used when we can't quite find the right description, or when we're too lazy to be specific. But they're not just vague, they're weak. A great story thrives on clear imagery, and these general terms do nothing to paint a vivid picture. When you use words like "thing," you're not engaging your readers. Instead of saying, "I saw a thing on the table," describe it. Was it a book, a letter, or maybe an old watch? The more specific you are, the more your readers can imagine the scene. Studies show that specific language enhances reader engagement. According to a 2018 study by the University of Oxford, readers connect more deeply with stories that contain detailed descriptions. In fact, 87% of readers reported feeling more invested in a book when the author used specific, tangible details rather than vague terms like "thing." Another reason to cut out "thing" and "stuff" is that they rob your writing of character. Imagine a character saying, "I just bought some stuff at the store." It tells us nothing about who they are or what they care about. But if they say, "I picked up a new pair of boots," we learn a lot more about them. Next time you catch yourself writing "thing" or "stuff," stop. Think, what exactly is it? It could be a specific object, a feeling, or even a moment in time. Replacing these weak words will give your writing more depth and your characters more dimension. Chapter 5: Stop hiding behind "some." Unveiling the power of precision. Another word that often weakens writing is "some." It's often used when we're unsure or don't want to commit to exact details. But when you rely too much on "some," your writing feels uncertain and vague. Instead of writing "some people," say "a group of teenagers," "a few friends," or "a crowd of strangers." This not only adds precision but also makes your writing more engaging. A study from the University of Cambridge found that specificity in writing boosts reader immersion by 22%. In this study, participants were more likely to feel connected to characters and situations when they had a clear picture of the world around them. When we say "some" without elaborating, we deny our readers that connection. Using "some" also creates a sense of detachment from the story. If your reader doesn't know exactly what you're referring to, they can't really invest in it. Imagine a character saying, "I have some friends I'd like you to meet." This statement is so general, it doesn't give your reader any real sense of who these friends are or why they matter. On the other hand, saying, "I want you to meet Maria and Alex, my childhood best friends," brings the scene to life. The power of precision is clear. By replacing vague phrases with specific ones, you give your reader more to grasp. Instead of saying "some time," say "2 hours," or "half an hour." Instead of "somewhere in the room," try "near the window," or "beside the door." These small changes pack a punch and keep readers grounded in your world. The goal is to make sure every word counts. So, when you find yourself using "some," ask, "What can I say instead?" This strategy brings your scenes to life and your characters into sharper focus. Chapter 6: The Lazy is. How to avoid passive storytelling. One of the sneakiest culprits in weak writing is the verb is. While it's not inherently bad, when overused, it can turn your sentences passive and flat. Passive sentences make your writing feel sluggish and disengaged. Active sentences, on the other hand, add energy and drive. When you use is, you're often falling into a passive construction. For example, instead of writing, "The door is opened by John," try, "John opened the door." The second sentence is more dynamic and immediate, pulling the reader right into the action. Data from the National Writing Project shows that passive voice is one of the most common issues students face when writing. Studies reveal that passive constructions lead to a 17% drop in reader comprehension. Why? Because active voice keeps the story moving forward, making it easier for readers to follow and feel involved. Think about how much more engaging active sentences are. "The wind is blowing" becomes "The wind howled through the trees." Notice how the second version feels alive. It adds texture to the scene, making the reader feel the wind. To avoid the lazy is, focus on the actions of your characters. Instead of writing, "The house is old," try, "The house creaked with age." By using a more descriptive verb, you give life to the setting. Active verbs also help create tension and excitement, which are key ingredients in great storytelling. Another tip, if you find that you're using is frequently, challenge yourself to rewrite the sentence without it. It's a simple way to transform a passive scene into one that feels immediate and engaging. Remember, when you choose active voice, your story becomes more vivid. It makes the reader feel like they're living the experience rather than simply observing it. If you've found these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe for more writing strategies and storytelling advice that will help you craft a stronger, more engaging novel.